Hello everyone, welcome to Cooking with Shon, episode number 1. Well, what's the purpose of this series? Well, just to grab some stuff out of the refrigerator and try recipes for the first time, things that pop into my head, flying without a cookbook, without a guideline, just trying things to see if they're good, see if they taste well. And tonight I'm going to try a little something that I've been thinking about. I don't know if this officially exists, but I'm going to try a stir fry beef and ground beef and peppers. Of course, it's not just going to consist of bell peppers or green peppers, whichever you want to call them. I'm also going to include an onion and 2 cloves of garlic. Sorry about that. When you have one of those phones that connects to the Wi-Fi system, it sometimes does that. Anyway, I am going to chop these up, and then I will throw them into the stir fry, and we'll come back and show you how things are going from there. So stay tuned. Okay, welcome back. As you can see, I have chopped up my green peppers or bell peppers, whichever you want to call them. My onions are off to the right, and 2 cloves of garlic have been finely chopped, minced, as they would say in the professional kitchen. I am going to add those to the stir fry, and then get those nice and soft, translucent, to the point where they're semi-crunchy, but not completely crunchy. This I did to my own specifications. I like my veggies to be, instead of doing something that was long, especially with the green peppers, I decided to chop them up very finely, almost to the point where you would put them in a soup. But instead, these are going to be stir-fried. I just didn't want to do something that was long and, sort of noodle-like. I wanted something that was very, very small, almost delicate in a way. Plus, that will help them cook a little bit faster. So, once I've added them to my cast iron, actually my mom's old cast iron skillet, I'll get back to you guys. So, continue to stay with me. See you in a few. Okay, the third step, or the second step, if you will, in what I'm trying to do, I've got the onions, the green/bell peppers, and the 2 cloves of garlic now in a cast iron skillet. We all inherit a cast iron skillet from our moms or grandparents or something like that. Everybody should have one. I'm sure you have one as well. I'm cooking it in a half a stick of margarine. I chose that because I wanted the flavor. I added about 1 tablespoon of real butter to the margarine for even more flavor. Now, if you want to do something that's health conscious, you can go with oil, including EVOO or extra virgin olive oil. It's up to you, but I want my veggies to have maximum flavor, so I chose a margarine butter combination. And right now I've just got them in there under a medium heat, or over a medium heat. And I'm going to get these to the point where they're almost cooked, but they're still going to be a little bit crunchy. I'm going to add a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper directly into my stir fry to give it a little bit more flavor, a little bit more kick. And I will bring you guys back when I'm at the halfway point. Okay, we're back again. As you can see, the green peppers/bell peppers, onions, and garlic have been slow simmering in a cast iron pot or skillet. There's still a little bit of crunch to the veggies, but they're softer now, and the flavors are starting to marry. I added about 2 teaspoons of freshly ground pepper, black pepper, and about 2 teaspoons of sea salt, freshly ground. What you can do is, once again, season to your flavor, because this is not an official recipe. Put as much or as little or none of the salt and pepper if you don't want to. For me, I just think it's important to have that in there for that extra flavor, that extra seasoning. So that's what I went with. Like I say, right now, the veggies are semi-soft, but still have a little bit of crunch to them. They're going to soften even more when you add the ground beef. And I'm going to add the ground beef directly to the veggies. I'm not going to add any extra oil or anything like that, because remember, ground beef is going to generate its own sort of fat. So you don't have to worry about adding anything extra to aid in the cooking to prevent sticking or anything like that. That's also where the cast iron skillet comes into play. Okay, I'm going to add the ground beef, and I'll come right back once I show you guys once that has started to come together and started to cook. Okay, as you can see here, I have added my ground beef to my stir fry and broken it up so that the pieces can cook, collectively and evenly. And the plan is to add a little bit of sea salt and a little bit of cracked pepper to season to my taste. You do the same for yourself. If you're on a low sodium diet, you may decide to forego the sea salt, and you could go with maybe garlic powder. From what I'm told by my doctor, that's a pretty good substitute for salt, although I personally find it lacking that kick or that punch that salt gives you. But hey, that's up to you. Like I say, this is just a recipe that anybody can whip up at any time using the ingredients that you should have in your refrigerator. It's nothing more than green pepper / bell pepper, onion, 2 cloves of garlic, and some ground beef. Nothing special. I don't know if this recipe has an official name, but it was something that I looked in the fridge. I saw some ground beef. I really wasn't in the mood to make tacos tonight. It's Friday night. I really wasn't in the mood for a burger. So I just decided to give this a shot. So I'm going to finish cooking this, and once it's finished, I'll bring you guys back, show you the finished result, and we'll go from there. Okay, people, here is the finished result prior to me draining off the excess liquid or fat, if you will. That is a combination of the margarine. Like I said, I used almost a whole or half a stick of margarine. I threw in, a tablespoon of real butter, because butter is going to add that flavor. It's going to make it a little bit more silky. In my opinion, I think real butter is much better than margarine. It's just a little bit more expensive. So I usually end up buying both. And of course, you've got the fat that's left over from the ground beef itself. Now, as you can see, the veggies have become very, very soft, well cooked, which is what I was going for. If you don't like your veggies to be soft like that, you want a little bit of crunch to remain, what you can do is you can remove half the veggies before you add the ground beef, set it aside in a little bowl or something, and then once the process of cooking the beef is finished, you can simply re-add your veggies again. And even though they won't all be crunchy, you'll still have enough crunch to satisfy you. So that's the finished meal. Like I say, I need to drain off the excess liquid at this point, and then I'll plate it. And I am going to chow down. I don't know if this dish exists officially before today. I'm sure somewhere in the world someone has started this before me. This is probably not an original. It's just that because I couldn't find it anywhere online doesn't mean it doesn't exist somewhere in the world. So for me, this is just a quick meal that anybody can do. You don't need to have any fancy dancy cooking skills or have gone to culinary school or anything like that. Just a single guy in his kitchen with stuff that you can find in pretty much any refrigerator, throwing it together and seeing how it's going to come out. Now, once I taste it, I may have to add a little bit more salt, a little bit more pepper, I don't know. We'll find out. But once again, season to your own individual taste. That's all part of the cooking process. This was done without a recipe book or any foreplanning whatsoever. It's just grab stuff that was in the fridge, throw it together, see if it'll work. And that's what I did. So I will, once again, drain off the excess liquid, plate it, and then see what I got. Hopefully it turns out good, but it's kind of hard to mess up ground beef, you know. Ground beef is going to taste like ground beef regardless of how it's cooked. So hopefully this turns out good. Hopefully you find this recipe something that you might like to try yourself. If you find little ways to improve on it, hey, make a video, link it to mine. We can share this thing, get this thing going around the world. Maybe we can start a new trend. A new version of beef and peppers. I like that. Okay, guys, thanks for joining me tonight. This is your boy, Shon Knight 3000. This is my first episode of Cooking with Shon. I hope you guys like it. Hope you guys come back for more. You know what to do at the bottom. Like, comment, subscribe. I plan to make this a weekly thing. Hey, we'll see. Once again, thank you guys, and good eating.